I'm standing outside Sofitel in the heart of downtown Bangkok, and there is something very interesting going on inside. So why don't we go inside and take a look at what's happening? Join me. I'm Kevin Wood for LTL TV. I'm here at the Red Oven, and I'll show you around. The restaurant is not even open yet, and it's getting pretty full already. I have to say that the food looks good enough to eat, and of course I have to comment on it, and I like what I see, and I'd love to share it all with you. It's the kind of food that I would subscribe to. A buffet is a very special occasion. It doesn't happen every day, but it comes with one major problem. There's so many great choices of food that unless you're bulimic, you're simply not going to be able to try everything. So it's not about what you eat, it's about what not to eat. Now, the first thing I like to do is browse the options. I generally avoid stews like the ones you can see now, and salads are not my choice. I consider both to be just fillers. Now, I do like Thai food, and even though the coconut curry soup is delicious and the gaily coloured noodles look interesting, I don't bother. Instead, I'll go for the more exotic stuff, like the kind I don't generally eat at home because they're too expensive for the weekly food budget, and let's face it, they're not necessarily the healthiest or good for your waistline. For starters, I chose oysters, and there were 3 on the menu. Fin de Claire from the French Atlantic coast, Normandy oysters from, let me guess, Normandy, and then majestic oysters cultivated on the northwest coast of Ireland in County Donegal. And I have to say, with my apologies to the French, that the majestic oysters were by far the best, full-bodied, full of flavour, crisp and delicious. Now, I was a bit concerned because I didn't see any Japanese food at first until I spotted, tucked away down a long passage, the Japanese restaurant called Soshimi. Not sashimi, Soshimi. You get the play on words there. And it definitely looked like an authentic Japanese restaurant. So I got a bit of sashimi from Soshimi for me. So on the way back to my seat, picked up some Alaskan crabs, skipped the bloody sea snails and the prawns and those, and I went for the blue crab, never mind the mussels, and I was set to go. Now we're going for the Atlantic crab, which, to be honest, was bland, dry and quite tasteless. It's alright. My favourite sashimi, sabak mackerel. Not to everyone's liking because it's got a strong fishy taste, but it melts in your mouth and I love it. I missed you, baby. And this is lobster, and apparently everybody gets one when they're ready. All washed down with a glass of Malbec red wine from Argentina, and on to the next course. Foie gras, unlimited. So I won't look like a pig when I finish all this food, I'll look like a duck. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's so good. Juicy, not too oily, very, very soft. I'll definitely be having more of this. We interrupt this program for a quick question. If you were at a lavish buffet, what would you eat or what wouldn't you eat, and why? Please put your answers in the comments below. After the starters, it was time for the main course, which for me was roast beef and lamb chop. The roast beef looks almost rare. in the whole piece, but they will cook it to your preference. So that's medium rare, which works. Dip of a bit of gravy. Tender, could be a bit more juicy, but very nice. Lamb chop off the bone. Again, tender, quite juicy, and actually melted in the mouth. Very tasty. Tastes like lamb. After that, I just had to have some more majestic oysters and more foie gras. Has to be done. This just in. The price of the buffet per person was 1,999 baht, and you could also get free flow drinks for 1,500 baht per person. But you could only get wine or beer. So we decided to get our own bottle of our own choice and basically saved ourselves 2,000 baht. I'd planned my meal well and made sure I'd left room for the vast selection of yummy looking desserts. They even had gluten-free cakes, if you believe in all that just don't get me started, okay? Then there was crepe Suzette, and I was seriously tempted, so I looked the other way and eventually ended up with this selection. And to finish in the correct manner, I decided to have ice cream, and out of the 8 mouth-watering choices I went for Belgian chocolate and durian, believe it or not. And of course I had to have a bit of cheese on the side. I love durian. Tastes like feet. The food was great and definitely worth the price, certainly a lot less than a hell of a lot of the good hotels in Bangkok. So we'd probably go back there again sometime soon.